Okay. So this is one of the ruins. This is it Kom Obo, a temple
Hmm.
in what is modern day. It's in the I think it's in the northern part of Egypt,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And so I went down the rabbit hole on this. This is some information. I was putting together some shorts, and this came up, and it sparked off a couple of things for me. One, just kind of looking at the place, and let me pull up my little stat sheet on it so I can get it right. Oh, I do have a lot of stuff here. That's crazy. That this was a kind of a rare in the sense that it was like a dual temple, and the reason
Hmm.
it caught my attention was one, part of this temple was dedicated to Khnum, um,
Hmm.
Hathor, and
Hmm.
Sobek, and I wanted to talk about each one of those individually, right? Because obviously there's a lot with Sobek, and the first question that popped up for me was Sobek was represented with the alligator head, right? Was it an alligator or crocodile?
It was a crocodile.
Okay, so I know that we've talked about how the head represents the character of whichever of the Netters we're referencing, right? What was it that Sobek represented? The
Sobek,
crocodile.
correct. He represented man, the protector of the Nile. He was the that's one of the things that was one of the foremost high revered reptiles in ancient Kemet.
Okay.
Okay, so they were also mummified. There a lot of them were wrapped, of course, in the Merkut, the Nasuites.
Uh huh.
Okay, so they were very highly revered. So there's a
Yeah,
couple
because there was
things that
like 300 of them that were mummified here that they found here, right?
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so right, so okay, so a lot of people don't understand, um, and I know we're talking about this, uh, but this is not an imaginary thing.
Right.
Okay, this is actually a real thing, and what I mean by that is this it represents a mentality of what Sobek is,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of the things that happened is in order for a person to understand a little bit more about that, then the suit and one of his great explorations, okay, was to go down the Nile, and if he was to be able to kill one of these crocs, okay, it was one of his initiations or one of his fasts or one of his tests
Mm-hmm.
that they went through.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole entire thing is it was a manifestation of a manifestation or a festation of crocodiles all around the Nile, especially during that time.
Okay.
They would
Okay.
all rest upon the banks and stuff like that. Okay, so as a matter of fact, one of the Nasu was actually killed by crocodiles because he fell over off the boat into the Nile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is one of the most revered reptiles. Now, what I want to talk about is, or you want to mention this? I mean, I don't want to stay on this too long, at least today. But this is a temple that was very highly revered because what happened is this was one of the places of testings for priests.
For priests. Okay.
And so what happened is that in order for them to be able to go through this testing phase, they had to go through the tunnel. Okay, there was a transformation of teaching, and
Mm-hmm.
so they had to end up going through this tunnel for them to be able to understand one of their, I want to use test trials. They want to call it, rites of passage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they had to go through this test, and so what ended up happening is as they would go down the corridor, and of course this temple it would get narrower and narrow. It was very dark, and so what ended up happening is that they would end up in the bowl of these crocodiles.
Wait, in the what are these crocodiles?
The bowl.
The bowl.
There was a bowl. Correct.
Okay.
And so what ended up happening is if they the whole idea was for them, the priests were very highly revered.
Right.
Highly revered. They was one of the most respected things they had in ancient Kemet. So one of the tests, if you can understand me correctly, the test was in this temple, okay, was a lots of participations in festivals,
Mm-hmm.
One of them was the Hepsed. We talked about that.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. And so, and another one was this, but they had to pass, okay, this test of what we call fear, or this test for this rites of passage where they had to go through this particular test in, of course, this particular temple. Now, a lot of people don't know is the test was to be able to help them to understand that the priest actually for the Nusubiti was one of the last lines of defense
Okay.
for them. Okay. So they're very highly skilled. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And also pretty much fearless.
Fearless.
One of the things they had to do was face him.
Mm-hmm.
Sobek.
Yeah.
Okay. And being in this basin with live crocodiles has a lot to say about that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to say, I'm just giving you the very short version or the nugget about that. If you want to know more, I'll be able to explain it, because a lot of priests didn't make it.
Right.
Okay. If there was, they would say, you want to really find out what's in you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And we'll know if you do this test.
Right.
If you don't make it, we know because you became, croc food.
I mean, but that's a cold-blooded test, though, man.
Okay, right. But the whole idea was them to help them to understand that, right, you are next to the Nasut, which is one of the highest places to be.
Right.
Okay. And it was just something that people just don't really truly understand its totality. Why would you want to make someone do something like that?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Right. And so the temple was very sacred, and it had a lot of, they call it rituals, but they were traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the traditions of spirituality had different levels.
Yeah.
Okay. Reaching what they would call lecture.
Okay.
Was a very highly revered position. And of course, one of the tests was to face Sobek.
Right.
And so that temple that you're referring to that's a very good piece because I like it.
Yeah.
And so it's well preserved. And I like, of course, if we talk more about it, there's a lot of history, a lot of things surrounding that. And one of the things I want to say is tests for us was to be able to deal with this, because it had all to do with this type of personal development, okay?
Right.
And training.
Mm-hmm. Okay.